Just saying.
So Rabbi Wein writes, we have seen in the world how great ideals like love, peace, tolerance, etc. fall by the wayside unless laws and judicial systems put into place and define and safeguard.
I just said that earlier, in almost those exact words.
Like I told a lot of women that I love them forever.
Uh-huh.
And I don't really love anyone right now, so I guess that's so true. But I will say this, I got to tell you, when I say to a woman, I love you, like I mean it. Like it means something behaviorally, like for weeks or months. You know, I don't just say it. But like I've noticed, like with women, when they say I love you, it contains no behavioral significance. Like, because women are governed by their feelings. So an hour later, she could be like mad at me. She could like go off and do anything. You can't count on anything when a woman says I love you, unless she's a good person or unless she's religious.
Wrong. When a woman says I love you, it means more than when a man says I love you. It means nothing.
It's just an emotional spasm.
When a woman says when they love, that means they really mean it and they really need you and they really care for you. And that's dangerous because at that point on, they have the chokehold on you, and you got to watch everything you say, and you got to walk on eggshells because they're always going to throw it in their face how much they care about you. So I say when a woman says she loves you, she really means it. When a guy says I love you, it could be that he just wants to get into her pants.
Okay, so aside from when he's never had sex with her and he's trying to have sex with her, okay, yeah, then you can't trust a guy. But if he's having regular sex with her, or it's not in that situation where he's trying to seduce her for the first time, and a guy says I love you, chances are he means it. But you and I, we've dated different types of women.
Yes, we have. And we lost
half
the viewers.
I guess many of yours weren't professional sex workers.
I did date a woman who was a professional
stripper.
No, professional sex therapist.
Yeah, but she wasn't like giving hand jobs.
No. We lost half the audience when we started talking about Torah.
Okay, so in this week's Parsha, every Jew has to cough up half a shekel for the temple, so even the poor Jews.
Boom! Want to talk about that?
Yeah.
What is that an example of, Levi? Sit back. What's that an example of?
Everyone doing their share?
Everybody's going to give the same amount, even the Jews, even the poor people.
Mm-hmm.
That's an example of regressive taxation.
Yeah.
What's regressive taxation? That means the more money you make, the less percentage you'll have to pay of taxes.
Mm-hmm.
Right? The Torah has a source, Judaism has a source for regressive taxation. That means the more money you make, the lower the tax rate is going to be on you. The higher the tax rate is going to be on the poorest of people. Because let's say you only have 10 shekels to your name, giving up a half of a shekel is 5% of your entire worth. That's a lot of money. But if you're a multi-billionaire, it's like piss. It doesn't mean anything to you. But since the poor person and the rich person are going to give the same, this is what's called regressive taxation, and Torah has a source for it. Torah also has sources for flat tax, where everybody gives 10%, and the rich give 10%, and the poor give 10%. And obviously, 10% from the poor is a lot harder for them, because they only have like $30,000 a year, from their blog or whatever, and they have to give up $3,000 of it. That's a lot of money. But a guy who's got like a $3 billion movie mogul or whatever, right? He's got $3 billion. He has to give up $300 million. Okay, that's a lot more money than you're giving, but he gets to hold on to $3.7 billion, right? So he's rich. It doesn't hurt him. So Judaism, the concept of squeezing the 1% for more money, eating the rich, these are concepts that have no source in Torah. There is no source in Torah for progressive taxation. The idea of the more money you make, the higher income tax level you go into, there's no source for that. Torah is into low taxes. The Torah wants you to keep your money. Torah, God, Judaism wants billionaires to hold on to their money, Levi. The most a billionaire can give to tzedakah is 20%. If he wants to give more than 20%, he needs to get a hectare from a major league Rav, right? And he's going to be in line to get it right behind you, asking if you can wear women's panties. So that's a long line, right? So,
wouldn't it be funny if, like, an editor from Mishpatim approached me?
I think if an editor from Mishpacha approached you and said that they wanted you to wear women's panties and film you, I would check to see if I would call Mishpacha immediately and see if that person actually works for them, because I think that's just a line to get you out of your pants.
If they do, should I like report them?
There's somebody falsely
using their
misrepresenting themselves as an editor for Mishpacha.
No, they really are an editor, but they're abusing their authority.
No. This
to get naive.
I can just see the phone call. This is like the ultimate prank for YouTube. Hi, this is Luke Ford, and I'm calling today because here I am. I have photos of myself in negligee. I have lingerie, I have negligee, and I have a teddy. And I've taken my photos in all of them because I was told by somebody presenting themselves as your editor that it would be highly important for your publication to see me in this. And I've filmed myself in this exotic way, and I've spent several $100s at both Victoria's Secret and at
Trashy
Lingerie, and I cannot get in touch with this individual, and I just want to make sure that they, in fact, that
these photos arrived.
That these photos have arrived, and that I will be paid in full.
And that I get to publish my book review on Faith in America.
It's like the ultimate prank. And you're going to be on YouTube, and they're going to have pictures of Luke like in red and doing like the whole spread of centerfold. Luke calendar. Look at August. Look at the August photo of Luke. Ay.
I just got one last thing.
Okay.
Rabbi Wein says, a great rabbi once told me that it's far easier to have glatt kosher meat on one's plate than to have glatt kosher money in one's pocket. So is a Jew who keeps glatt kosher more likely to be honest in business? Historically, yes. Today, not so much.
Yeah, I don't. Anyone can keep glatt kosher. That's those two. They don't go together. Yeah. The idea of I keep kosher, therefore
I'm not going to ask you to pose in women's panties.
Luke already shows you that.
I show you that's not true.
All right, I'm going to read some Rabbi Miller.
Okay.
That's not okay. Once again, we're reading from The Path of Life. Derech Chaim, Rabbi Victor Miller, reading his words on the Parashat Mishpatim. And he brings down an interesting thing. He says, in this week's Parsha, there's one verse that says, after the multitude you should incline. That's in Shmos 23:2. However, it also says, do not go after the multitude to do evil. So in other words, you should go after the majority, or whatever, the multitude, but you should not go after them to do evil. So how does that work? Should we follow them or not? How do we know if they're good or they're evil? Right? So it's like, he says like this. He said, you follow the rabbis. Okay? You follow the majority of the rabbis, the big rabbis, and the people who know the most Torah, and those are the people that you follow to do good, but you don't follow the outside world. When it comes to the outside world, that is the true multitude, because most people live in the outside world. I mean, there's 7 billion people on the planet, and only 14 million of them are Jews. So the multitude is always non-Jews, right? And even amongst the 14 million Jews, only 2 million of us maybe are Firmies, right? So don't follow the majority of Jews, right? And even in the 14 million, of the 2 million Jews who keep Shabbos, follow the Rebbeim who know the most Torah, okay? The Rosh Yeshivas, they're relied upon as the leaders. Everybody else, other than those 2 million Jews of the 7 billion, don't have anything to do with them. That's the multitude that we don't follow. We don't follow, other than the 2 million people who are following the rabbis, we don't follow the rest of the world. Because they are all bent on doing evil. They run around in women's clothes. the guys run around and they do all types of terrible things.
I can't wait till the next editor asks me to write for them, and I go, "Oh, you're not going to